Okay, lesson 406, implementing user registration. Oh, wait. Actually, let me do it on tape. So what I haven't done is I haven't committed my changes to GitHub yet. And since all of these are building on the same project, it's still all in my Spring Boot 401 project. So I'm going to click on the project, go to the VCS column, and go to Git, and select Commit Directory. And this time I wasn't adding database. This past time I wasn't adding database authentication. I was persisting current user information. Change that to commit and push. Let it do its thing. Push. It might ask you to log in again. I have my machine set up to log in automatically. And we're done. All right, now implementing user registration. Now I already added these to my user repository, but if you haven't, you're going to need a find by email, and then a count by email, and a count by username routine inside your user repository. So it's real easy. Hold on a second. Pull up the code in this other one. The links we will go to not to have to type. All right, so I need account by email and account by username. It's going to return a long count by email. It automatically knows how to do the query. So it'll be a select count star from user where email is equal to email, or the same thing for username. So now that I have those created, I need to go to my role. So my role repository needs an extra routine, find by role, which I've already created. I need the user service class, which I don't have. So I'm going to create a new class called user service. And part of the reason why you need this is it's just bad form to be doing as much work inside of the controller as we've been doing. So you should just be calling to one routine and it should be doing all the work for you, especially if you're going to have to repeat yourself all over the place. So the user service is a service, so we need the annotation. And inside, it's going to look like this. Raise. All right. So we're going to auto wire up the user repository and the role repository. And we're going to auto wire the user service so that when this is used, it will take the user repository that it's handed and set its user repository equal to its own user repository. Further, we're going to say that the user, that we can use find by email, count by email, and find by username as native methods here, and it just passes through from the user repository method. If we try to tell it to save a user, it will set the role as user and then save the user with that role. If we tell it to save an admin, it will set the role as admin and then save the user as that role. All of that is being handled inside the user service so that we don't have to do it inside of our controller. Okay? Then we're going to edit our home controller to add the register path. So that's going to look a little like this. I'll put it at the top, make it clear. So when someone asks for register, they'll get this. And then when they try to execute register, when they post to register, it'll give them this. It's going to validate what was entered. And then we're going to get the results of the validation. So if it has errors, it'll do this. I need an AutoWire for the user service. Add AutoWired. So if there are no errors, if there are errors, it'll bounce you back to the registration page. And if there are no errors, it will save the user using the user service save user routine. And remember, what that does is it will get the user role, add it to the user object, and then save it to the database. And that is that. Index, login, and secure are all the same, pretty much. We're gonna have to go to our security configuration and add the ability to actually get to the registration page if you're not logged in yet, which only makes sense. And then we need to actually add the template for registration. So we're going to right click here and say new HTML file, registration. And then once we're there, we're going to add the following. Yeah, that's a lot of typing. I'm not going to type all that over. Okay, so what we have here is a form. We're turning off autocomplete. When we're posting it, we're sending it back to the register link, and we're using the user object to create first name, last name, email, username, and password. And the password is an input type of password, so it's not going to mirror the keys. Everything looks right there. So, assuming everything is perfect, let's stop and rerun. We're going to wait for our splash. And let's go here. Okay, we can get to the base page. If we try to go to secure, it'll bounce us to login. But let's say instead we go to register. And so for the registration, I call Sam Samerson, sam@sam.com, username Sam, password, and submit. So now I should be able to log in. Sam, password, and sam@sam.com, password, last name Samerson. Our user registration works. And if you really want to check up on it, we can go to the H2 console and take a look at what is actually in the database. Select star from user. Sam@sam.com, true, Sam Samerson, all of this, it's all right there.